So what else do you have?
Keep going.
I need you to jot down 10 people who would be nice, enough to help me out.
Okay.
I'm not looking for people who will necessarily be people who will buy, just nice people like you to know it. Here's a pen and paper and my notebook.
Yep.
And put as many as you can. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. You just need to get a few more things down, so keep working on it. Obviously, there's a next part too, right? There's we were talking about the sponsorships, right? Then we're going to qualifier recommendations, right? And then we have them text right at the end, like the very bottom part. But the box that I am talking about right now is just that top, like the big ask, right, at the beginning. So you want to get that down. So keep working on it. You want another minute there before I grill you? Okay, give me your best shot. You just got to close your manual.
All right. By the way, Mrs. Jones, how did you like my demo?
It's great. It's
now,
really good.
Now, Kim, there's one very important part. Here's where you can really help me out.
Mm-hmm.
I get paid every time I show Cutco, and I can only show it to people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do while I'm cleaning up is jot down 10 people who might be nice enough to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily looking for people who'd buy, but just some nice people like you to take a look at.
Uh-huh.
Here's a pen in my notebook. And please put down as many as you can. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your help.
Okay. That's pretty good for reading it.
Yeah.
But I want you to have it memorized. So
right.
Keep looking at it. Try to memorize as much as you can.
Peanut. Okay. So this was just
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's like text me.
Right. That's a phone call. I get on the phone with him. For sure. Do you guys have your referral books on you? So, you got yours?
I haven't read it.
So what you got?
I left early for one of them. Oh. Yeah, the first training. I left early because I didn't know.
You got married?
No. I went to go see someone.
You're kind of young.
But I didn't get married.
Who got married?
I went with one of my...
Only for referrals. Okay. No notes, no stats, no calculus.
All right.
Notes, no American history.
Thank you.
Best way you can thank me is fill it up with lots of recs. Make yourself a bunch of money. Okay. I only have one or two that are running late right now. But one of the things I want to mention for you guys is that when you are using your here, one of the keys to getting recommendations, which will always teach you a lot of stuff about recommendations. In fact, if you want to get exceptionally good at recommendations, get invited to my SLDM on the 6th. You got to be at your first promotion, at least, which I know you're there. But you got to get invited by your manager. Ask them, like, ask JK, what do I got to do to get to Evan's SLDM? And I'm going to teach some very, very high level, easy to implement recommendation stuff. So that way, whatever your average is, the goal is to double it. You know, people leave that meeting getting 10s and 15s and 20s and even more, right? So we want to get a lot of recs. But one of the biggest, easiest keys to make sure you get a lot more recommendations is just have your book ready to go. So tonight, okay, after you guys get a chance to book your, do either one of you have an appointment tonight? Okay, cool. So if you're, when you're back at home or whatever the case is, you're watching the basketball game, catching up on your Netflix, just literally map out this entire thing from start to finish. So that way, every single customer, you can slide them a new page and it's totally ready. Otherwise, you have this. Right, and it's like, oh, one, right? But even just giving a customer something like this page, that's right here, This already gets more just because it's set up and ready to go, right? Plus you look more what? Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So let's get rolling with training for today. So you guys need your manuals, and that's sort of it for right now. But I want to start with some information for today. So here's how advanced training is going to work today, and this is your last training, except for you, because you need to do AT-1 because we need to teach secret weapon. And I'm not sure if you got advanced training 1 where you learned the secret weapon on Monday. We talked about that maybe at the team meeting.
Yeah.
So we have it next Monday, okay, and it'll be from 11 to 2 or 2:30 or so, and I'm running that one. So that one, we just got to get you the information for that for sure. So this will be your last. So AT-2 is typically your last kind of official training as a group, but your training is ongoing and never what? Never ending. Like you're always gonna be learning more every time you come to meetings, every time you come to events. The goal is to provide value for you so that way you can get better at the job. We're never gonna waste your time. I'm never gonna make you come to my office and not give you value and make you get better at the job. But we do need to make sure you go through all the necessary training, AT-1 and AT-2, so that way you can have all the right info. In your first 10 days, it feels super busy, right? Actually, for most representatives, it feels like you signed up for more than what you bargained for. A lot of times, like, holy moly, I got a PDI every day. Now I got training. I'm like going to the office every day. I thought this job was what? Flexible. And okay, just bear with it. Your first 10 days are crazy and they're busy. But we want you to get off to a good start. And we want to make sure that you're able to hit some promotions quickly because then you can actually work less and make more. And after your fast start contest is done, really the minimum amount that I need you in my office or Jake's office, depending, is make sure you don't miss our team meetings, right? Then I'm a happy camper. If you miss my meetings, I'll be upset. It's like missing practice, okay? When you have our sample kits. And then one other time during the week where you're turning in paperwork or making a phone jam or something like that. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. But you can come to my office every single day and grind if you want to. But that's your what? Choice. That's your choice if you want to do that. But the idea is that my reps that make the most income in the summer, all my reps that get into like 5-digit club, they're in here. You can kind of find where your happy medium is going to be, and it's going to be tied into whatever your goals are. But during your fast start contest, I just want to tell you to embrace it a little bit. You should definitely consider quitting the job a couple times in your first 10 days. You've probably already thought about it. Like, I don't know if it's for me, correct? Right? Like, isn't that a fair thing? Like, every single day, I thought about quitting this job when I was new. Every single day. But I worked my tail off. I was in there every morning till like nighttime. My parents never saw me, and I had a great fast start contest. I sold almost $10,000 my first 10 days. And I was grinding, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. So I just want to kind of let you guys know how that's going to be. And the harder you work, you're going to experience more challenges, right? Just like anybody's doing more effort, more actions, you're going to get more challenges, but you're also going to get more experience, more success, and more income, the things that you're looking for. So I just want to kind of frame that for you, okay? So I like to start training with this. So we're going to be talking about how to get you better on the few different approaches. The focus of tonight is to help you schedule more appointments because that's the name of the game, right? We just want to get you in front of more customers. And one of the ways to do that is just getting you better and more proficient at phoning, right? Because this is the job, right? Is learning how to schedule appointments. Once you do the demo's a blast, right? Cut pineapples, smile, sell essential sets, sell homemaker sets, right? It's really cool when that happens. We want to get you in front of more clients because that's what's going to help them get more Cutco, and it's also going to help you get more experience too, all right? So I'm going to give you some training on that, and then we're going to walk through a few of the different scripts, and then as soon as we get finished, I'll have some assignments for you guys, but also part of training today is for you to book your next handful of appointments, all right? So every time people come to my advanced training too, they need to book at least their next 3 ahead of them. That doesn't mean you need 3 for tonight, but I want you to at least book 3 while you're here. When you book 3, you can roll, right? So you might get them in your first 30 minutes, and I'm cool with that. But some people say, Evan, I want to book 4 or 5, or I'm already here, I want to book 10 tonight. Right after this meeting starts at 6 o'clock is my D3D meeting. It's my Dirty 30 development meeting and key staff meeting, which I always extend an invite to. It goes from 6 to 7, then 7 to 8, those people phone jam, then they go out. That's a long night, right? You don't have to stay here the whole time, but it's always an invitation for people who want to like step up and learn more. So it's open for you guys if you want to stay, but I ain't going to twist your arm to do it. But I'm going to be teaching the goods tonight for my high-end people and my staff to help them have really big summer times. And I'm going to do that every Thursday, okay? So I just want to let you guys make sure you're aware of that. So we're going to talk about this. So the first thing I'd like for you to kind of get down somewhere, you can actually write on your manual if you'd like, it's okay, is I just want to reinforce this concept for you guys in terms of your results. So 10-80-10, we use this percentage to kind of break down where people are at in their fast start contests, right? So how many appointments have you done so far total? 4 so far? 2 so far? 3 so far. Okay, right. So I would say for both of you guys, you probably feel pretty behind where you thought you might be, right? You thought, oh, I wish I was at 10 appointments or 20 or whatever. I mean, you guys finished training on Saturday, so I'd say, hey, we probably need to step up getting more appointments. And you know what? If you haven't got a lot during the week, it's okay, because the weekend is going to be the best time. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's the finish of the fast start. So I want to help you finish that up. But a lot of people, 10% of people come to this training and they feel like way behind where they were going to be in their fast start. Like, I thought it'd be at more in sales. I thought I'd have more demos on their belt. I thought it'd be better at the demo at this point. But if you're there, just appreciate and understand why you're there. Like, why haven't you done the amount of demos? Maybe you just haven't put in the effort that you wanted to. Maybe you felt like, hey, I got a little bit unlucky with some phone calls. Whatever the reason is, if you're right here and you feel like you haven't got the results, I want to let you know you're okay. Except this is like the halfway point for your fast start. So we want to turn it up the back half, and anything can happen. It's never how you start. It's always how you what? You've learned this since you were probably this tall, right? Okay, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. 80% of people come here and feel like they're doing okay, but they wish they were doing better, right? So I have people show up to my advanced training too that are trying to get on my wall that are at $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000. They're like, okay, things are going really well, but I want to make sure I'm turning it up to a little bit more. And then there's 10% of people that feel like they're knocking it out of the park, right? So if you came in and you're having them at $5,000 and my fast start goal was $3,000, I'm crushing this job. What do you think I would tell you to do in the last 4 days? I would say turn it up, right? Turn it up, right? Because as long as you're working as hard as you can all the way to the end, you should feel good about the effort. So I'd like for you guys to focus about that, since your fast start ends on Monday. Even if you maybe got like extra days for prizes, but like your official 10 days end on Monday, you want to finish as strong as you can, because this is your first chance to make an impression with who? Yeah, me, everybody that's here, right? How you get on my radar and all that stuff, because I look at your first 10 days as like your it's like training camp. You know, it's the beginning when you're brand new. It's tryouts, right? Because I'm going to find out a lot about you based on how many demos you do. I'm not as concerned with the CPO result. We do want to sell as much Cutco as possible. But if you came in and said, Evan, I've already done 20 appointments, I'd be like, oh, okay, I got somebody here. I have a real worker here, right? Versus if you only had 2 or 3, it's like, well, maybe you just know, hey, I got to turn it up a little bit. I got to put in more effort with this job to get it to the next level. So something to keep in mind. So I'd like for you to turn to page 20 and 21 in your training manual. And I want to talk about your customers here, because we need to start with this basis first to give you a perspective on who you're going to see next. So the first thing I'd like for you to do is go ahead and cross off anybody that you already did an appointment with if you have not done that already. Okay? All right. So should be, you know, your 5 and your 3. So cross those off. And then I'd like for you to see what you have left over. Okay, what you have left over. So what do you see? Another, I don't know, what do you got on there? You got like 10 other names on there. So the left side, it looks like you need some work on that on page 20. Yeah. Yeah, family, you just got to you just have to put some effort into that part. And then you have around like 30 or so that are on there-ish, roughly, 20, 25. So you guys need to start working on your, that's a big thing, to start working on your names list. So I'll talk about that a little bit tonight too, to add to that. So when you're making your phone calls, what I'd like for you guys to think about is always, who are my next best 5? Okay, so if I told you, and I said, hey, if I asked you, so who are your next best 5 customers? Who's your next best customer that you want to see? That you want to do an appointment with, she's on your list, you go, I want to see her. Who is it for you?
Dave.
You want to see Dave. Why do you want to see Dave?
Because I know he'd be interested.
Because he cooks, or he's got a lot of kids, or got a big house, he drives a Maserati, what?
Basically.
All those things? He drives a Maserati? Client. Okay, cool. What about you? Who are you excited to see? Brenda. Does she cook? Yeah. Does she eat? Use knives? Yeah. Has kids? Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds like a good Cutco customer. So when you guys think about it like this, I always want to think about, who are my next best 5 clients that I want to focus on, and think about it in chunks of 5. And then you can go, who's my next best 10, my next best 20. But this list will morph a lot, right? So I always want you to be as intelligent as possible when we want to get you to mission 100, then mission 200, then mission 300, because I want you to both have the experience of having too many people to call. Wouldn't you like that? Great. I did 36, 37 appointments in my Fast Start contest. By the end of my Fast Start contest, I had over 400 recommendations. How do you think I was feeling? I'm like, this is amazing. So I would sit down for phone times and I actually would get confused. Yeah. Like, who do I start with? So it's going to evolve all the time, but I want you to be intelligent about who you call first. But we need to get more people on the list, more recommendations, but you always want to talk about who's next. So who's your next best 5? So when we break to the phone section for training for today, when you guys get at least your 3, but you can get more, is I want you to start with those 5 first. In fact, I would call those 5 twice. If you got all voicemails, I'd call them again one time because you want to start with them first, and you can move on to the rest of the list. So one of the things I'll tell you is that just from looking at your guys' list, I'd like for you to work on your names list a little bit, just because you need to. How many people do you think the average student has in their cell phone? What do you say, ballpark? 100. Yeah, something like that, 100, 150. What about on social media? I know they're not all friends, but thousands, right? Something like that. And then how many people do your parents know? Lots. Fine answer. Okay. So if I told you guys, hey, if I gave you $10,000 right now, would that be a good thing? Would you be pumped? Like, really, I just gave you $10,000 in cash. That would be good. Yeah, that's a lot of money. If I said, hey, if you come tomorrow, right, at the same time, right, 4 o'clock, and I said, if you had 100 names and numbers just written down, you don't have to call the people. You just had them written down, but I'll give you $10,000 in cash. Could you do it? No problem, right? You'd find a way. You'd be writing out of the phone book. You do whatever it takes, right? So the idea is that I'm not going to give it to you, by the way, but I always use that kind of crazy, grandiose example to just illustrate for you guys that you can totally write down a lot of people on your list, but you just got to go to work on it. So that's going to be one of both of you, just from what I can see, that's going to be your biggest assignment for tonight, when you go home, and tomorrow is like expanding that so you can see more clients over the weekend time. So that's going to be key. If you can turn to page 31, I want to review something with you there. There's a script that you may or may not have seen so far. And this script is for calling friends to get parents' phone numbers. And underneath that, it says messaging friends to get people's phone numbers, okay? So what percentage of people in your guys' phone would you say you'd be comfortable calling them and saying, what's up?
Percentage?
Yeah, what percentage, right? Let's say you had 100 friends in your phone. What percentage of them would you feel comfortable like, oh, I'll dial their number and I'll actually give them a call. Like, I just wouldn't shoot them a text. I'd call them. What would you say? 20%. Yeah. Yeah. What about you? 30%? Yeah. So for me, I mean, I got a lot of contacts in my phone, but there's some people I don't pick up the phone and talk to, right? It might be a text message or something like that. So you might have 20% or 30%. So I want to be realistic and break that down. I want to let you guys know that you'll probably be sending a lot more messages to your friends that are in your phone than phone calls. But the ones that you're comfortable with, like my best buddies from high school, like it was cool to I just called those guys, right? And a lot of when I started the job, there were still house phones, right? You know what those are? So I would call house phones, and if my buddies picked up the phone or I would pass it to their folks or something like that. Now with everybody's cell phones, it's calling them and getting the parent's number or text them and getting their mom's number. And Jeremy Blau was one of my branch managers this summertime, did such a fantastic job of that in his fast start. He did like 8,500 in his fast start, very close to getting on the wall. But I can remember him in the office for several days where he was just calling people like, basically, yo, let me get your mom's number. A little different than that, but I want to let you know that it's pretty simple to do. So with girls, I'll let you know, I think it's actually pretty easy. If you just said, hey, can you help me out? I want to get your mom's number. With gentlemen, it's a little, okay, so it's a little tougher to do. So when I call my buddies and say, hey, let me get your mom's number, you have to do it the right way. So basically the approach is this, hey, I need you to do me a quick favor. I'm calling all my friends right now. I start a new job and I'm in this huge contest. I can even get a shot to earn a what? A scholarship, right? And all I have to do is a really quick presentation for people and get their opinion on it. It's pretty easy to do, but I have to see people that are like over 30 and own a home. So I was thinking your parents fit that description. I actually have to call them and ask them personally about it. Even if they're too busy to do it, that's cool. It helps me just to call them and ask them about it. So who's easier to talk to, your mom or your dad? Cool. Let me get his or her number real quick. It would really help me out. Thanks a lot. Okay, got to go, but I appreciate this. Helps a ton, right? They can give it to you or text you the number. Simple enough, right? So we have a nice script there for you, but obviously when Ruben's doing this, you can kind of put your own flavor into that and like how you talk to your buddy. But I would tell you to, elevate it a little bit so they know you're working and it's for something professional that you're doing for the summertime. The message says basically the same thing, but I start a new job. I have to do some training appointments and it's paid. I just have to practice people over 30. I thought your folks would help me out. Could I get your parents' number real quick? Could I get your folks' number real quick? All right. And then they might have a few questions for you after that. What might they ask you? I'll text you their number. Okay. If you're texting with them, then of course they can send it to you. If you're on the phone with them and said, you don't know your mom's number, you can just give it to her on the phone. Otherwise, most of them will just text you the number. You might have to follow with them. Are you selling something? Okay, what are you going to say?
I actually get paid to show it.
Yeah, I actually get paid to show it, right? So it's basically the gist here is I get paid to show it. You folks don't have to get anything. There's no pressure. I just want to do as many appointments as I possibly can, right? So the other one is let me ask them first. That's okay. But like I said, I'm really supposed to talk to myself for training. It won't take much time and helps me get practice. Can you help me out? Or do you think they would be nice enough to listen? Okay. So what happens if your friend asks them? How do they ruin it? What do they say?
Oh, Ruben's selling something.
Yeah.
Do you want to buy?
And what do they say?
No.
No, most people aren't like, yeah, I'll sign up for that, right? My buddy that I talked to on the phone when I called his house phone, my buddy Danny, literally just yelled across the house to his mom, like, hey, Mom, Evan's selling knives. Want any? You know, like that. And of course she says, what? No, we have knives, right? So the focus is all wrong. And they're trying to help you out. But it's really for me, I'm like, hey, I get credit for every appointment. You know, I used to tell my buddies, my company's crazy. They pay me like $20 just to hang out and drink iced tea and do a point. Like, this is amazing, you know, so help me out, man. And so that's one of the ways that you can do that, so you can reach out. So what are most of your friends going to say? Most of them are either going to say yes or let me ask. You might have a small percentage that say what? No, you can't get my mom's number. And they're probably not your what?
Good friend.
They're probably not super close. So I wouldn't sweat it too much, okay? They're really busy. I'm not sure if they'd want to. That basically is no problem at all. I can just ask them. If they say no, it's what? It's no sweat. It's no sweat. What's the presentation about, right? So all those responses are on there for you guys to use. And those are plug and play. You can copy and paste those, obviously, as you're sending a lot of these out. So how many people do you have on your cell phone, Ruben? Roughly 100? Okay, cool. So obviously you got, you know, Roberto's in there and Domino's and a few other places, right, that you call. You got your auntie, uncles. But let's say 70 or 80 of those are people that are your age. How many of those could you text? You could just text all of them, right? And some might not respond, some would respond, whatever, but at least you're putting an effort to get appointments, okay? Now, we're just talking about text messaging on your phone. So since we're talking about messaging, how else could you create appointments? From what other source? If we're talking about messaging. Yeah, social media. Which one do you use the most? Use Facebook the most, right? So you can, boom, you can use that, right? But you might use, what do you use?
Instagram.
Great. So you can just message someone on Instagram and you can have the same thing, and they might actually respond to that faster than a text message because people are on those all day long, right? So either way, it's a win to be able to do that, and it can help you create a lot more appointments. Imagine if you just reached out and 10 people gave you the mom's number out of the 100. That's 10 more appointments. That'd be so easy to create. And then when you see those people, if you got 10 recs from each of them, boom, you're off to the races, right? So it's not like you have to see every single one of your friends' moms and their grandma and their auntie, but you could. There's a possibility there, and you want to take advantage of getting a chance to do as many appointments as you can, right? If they want to buy Cutco, that's cool. That's up to them. For me and my Fast Start, it was all about doing the highest volume of appointments with the right type of customers, right? With MAC customers, you know, married, have the right age, and own their own house. That's who I wanted to see. So you want to be smart about who you're seeing with that. So page 31, right there, that can create a lot of appointments for you, okay? Another side note on a way to create extra appointments for you is you can act, if your parents are supportive of the job, some parents are 50-50, okay, when people are working here, and that's cool. But another way that I would do it now is that you could have your parents actually have a post for you on their Facebook, okay? So I would have a picture of me like that, my sample kit, my blue book, all cheesed out, you know, and your mom could take a picture and she could post it where? Right on her wall and say, hey, Ruben's working for a scholarship this summer, USD, right? Is what? Expensive. I need you to do an appointment with him, right? Like this post and he'll contact you for an appointment. He gets credit for it. You don't have to get anything. Oh, that's a great way to do that, right? Also, if you're probably not friends with your parents on Facebook, or maybe you are, but that's another way too that you can message out to their friends, right, in their network, provided they said it was what? It was cool. Right, like I wouldn't just go messaging friends on my mom's network without like asking for. Maybe some of you would, but I probably would ask. Hey, mom, is that cool? All right, I would ask for that. But another thing that you can do there to actually create more appointments. So there's lots of ways that you guys can create more demos. Certainly more than 5 or 3. Okay, so any questions about that? Simple enough? Okay, very simple. Now I want to talk to you about your schedule real quick before we go into some phone tips. So if you can turn to page, I think it's going to be on 26 and 27 in your training manual. There is, I want to talk about the last 4 days of your Fast Start contest and how to max these out and what's available for you. Hey, Ruben, where do you live?
Okay.
Like where? What part? What exit off the 8?
Off
Okay, so you live a little bit out. And what about you? Okay, cool. So I just want to know how far it takes you guys to get to my office, basically. All right, so it kind of gives me an idea. So let's just look at the last 4 days of your fast start contest here, so you can max them out as much as possible. The first thing that we want to talk about this a little bit at the team meeting, but I want to make sure that you guys have a goal. Okay, so what is your goal to get to by the end of the fast start contest? And we want to make sure your schedule matches up for that. So a great thing to think about is you can do a goal of appointments, and you can mix that with a goal of sales, or you can do vice versa. But you can't say, hey, my goal is to sell $2,000 more, and I'm just going to do one appointment. I'm going to sell an ultimate set, right? Or a signature set. It's not going to work like that. So it's really nice to focus on an appointment volume. Okay, so on Friday, is this a great day to do demos? Absolutely it is, right? Is Saturday a great day to do demos? It is probably, these two are the best days. Why would these two be the best days to do lots of appointments? Typically not, right? It's a free day where you could do how many demos in a day? I mean, you could do 5, 6, 7, 8, like really, okay? But usually you won't Tuesday, right? Just because people are working. If you got 8 on Tuesday, that's cool. But usually this is why we saw most of our Cutco over the weekend time, okay? And then on Monday, this is the last day of the fast start. So that's the final day to kind of finish as hard as you can, right? Now, so you want to think about is how many demos do I want each day? What's my goal that I'm shooting for, so you have a target, okay? Who has appointments tomorrow? Nothing booked? Nothing booked yet? So that's why you're here tonight. We're going to book up Friday. So how many appointments do you want tomorrow? What would you be satisfied with? You want 2, you want 3, you want 4, you want 5? Huh?
3.
Okay, so 3. So if I'm Ruben, I have 3, and then I would go, okay, great. Well, where do I want those demos? I want one at 3, I want one at 5, I want one at 7, right? I'll put another one at 1. I'm not going to do 4, but those are the times where I can give customers. So does this make you guys tracking with me on this? Okay. And then, of course, when we get done tonight, you're going to get phone time. And if you stay for D3D and you want to stay after, you can do double phone time if you like. But at least we'll get some phone time after this. If I were you, when we get done with the teaching portion for this, I would try to just phone until I filled up my weekend. So you don't have to what? You don't have to worry about it. Then you can just cruise and do your demos, cut pineapples, and get paid. That's how I would do it. But it depends on your timing and things like that. But we want to make sure you get at least 3. So there are other opportunities here for you. So one of those, if you want to put 9 a.m., just put CC in your training manual right here. That's our Champions Club, all right? So Saturday morning, the office will be open for phone time. Do you have to be here for that time? No, you do not, right? You could also sleep in on a Saturday. I would recommend you don't, because how many fast starts do you get? You get 1, right? And Saturday demos are really great demos to do. But that's just a great time to make phone calls. And what I found is that if you're in the office, you're going to be a heck of a lot more what? Yeah, more productive. You're going to have things going on, and you're in the right vibe for it. Okay, so that's going to be open for you. A lot of times in the summer, our office will be open on Sundays. So starting in the next week or 2, our office will be open on Sunday nights. So you can come in and make calls then too to kind of set up your week. And then we have Miracle Monday here. Okay. Miracle Monday. So what I would like for you to do is that your demo slot right here at 9 o'clock. Do either one of you work another job?
Yeah.
Where do you work?
Elite.
Elite? Oh, security.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So provided you don't have a work thing that goes over this, right? So let's assume that this was what you were doing. You didn't have summer school that overlapped. What I would want you guys to have is these two. These 2 are really important to fill up, okay? So why do you want to fill up these last 2 right here?
It's the final day.
Final day, and you always want to have a shot at the buzzer, right? You always want to have a shot at the buzzer. So when you're making phone calls and customers say, I can't see you till next what?
Monday.
Next week. Well, guess what's next week? Monday. But for us, it's the end of the week, but it's nice for customers. Like, can you squeeze me in? It's the last day of my what? That's the last day of my contest, right? So is there any way you can squeeze me in? Can't tell you how many times I've had representatives go through the fast start and only be at $500 in sales, and they sell an ultimate right here. And they just rack up a few extra prizes, hit some promotions, and that's great. But you want to have a shot at doing that. So between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday phone calls, when you're making calls, let's say you wanted to do 5 on a Monday, right? Let's say you wanted to finish really strong and you have these dollar signs. Well, it's like, I want to book 2 for Monday here, 1 for Monday, 1 for Monday, 1 for Monday. You only have to book 1 each day to fill that up. But that way, when you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, even if my fast start hasn't gone perfectly, I still have an opportunity. Trip Twyman right here was a $15,000 fast starter a couple summers ago. When he did it, by the time he got to Sunday night, he was at $9,000 in sales. Guess what his goal was for his fast start? 15,000. So when he called me on Sunday night, and he was freaking out, right? Because he said, "What, Evan? Holy crap, man! I gotta sell $6,000 tomorrow. I've never sold $6,000 in one day in my lifetime." But he had 5 or 6 demos on the day, finished at 15,400. That's why we call it Miracle Monday. You just got to let miracles happen for you. So you want to have appointments booked up for that, okay? And then Saturday is a great day to fill up the rest of these ones how you want to do it. If you got church on Sunday that you got to do, cool. If you got part-time work that's in there, put that in there so that way you guys have that. But you want to make sure you have your plan in it. So write that in there and have it so you know and you have your goals down so you can actually hit your targets when you're going for them. Questions about that? No? Okay.
Wait, so this Monday, right?
This Monday. Oh. Yeah, this Monday. It's the 4th. Okay? So think about it and what you want to hit. What I would like to see you both do minimum for fast starters finishing your fast start contest is doing at least 10 appointments before you finish. And even though neither one of you have done 10 appointments, you could book 10 tonight. But what is that really? It's doing like 2 here, 3 here, or 2 here, 3 or 2, and then 2 or 3 here. It's not crazy. It's not like working 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. But when you do 10 appointments, you're both going to have enough experience where you'd be pretty good at the demo, but you also have a shot to sell an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5,000. If you get a couple of big orders, you have a chance to do something really, really great at the end. So that's what it's about, giving yourself a chance for doing it. Now, if you're motivated and you want to stand out, you want to make your mark, want to make a name for yourself, then just up your demo count, right? Because nothing impresses me more than work ethic, right? So if I got someone who's got a good attitude, who's a worker, I'm like, oh, I can work with this person forever. So that's gonna be something to be thinking about too. After the fast start contest ends, you guys, you want to make a plan with your manager, okay, Armando in this case and Jake, that you want to set up kind of a schedule for the summertime. So we like to do their fast starters, like how many days you want to do, right? So most people during the summertime that are working part-time are usually shooting for somewhere between 7 and 10 appointments a week, you know? If you want to work a little more full-time, people are more 15 or 20 appointments. If you want to go work all the time and you want to win a scholarship and go for a really large summer, be a 5-digit club, then you can do that. You can make a plan with your manager. But that's really where it will come kind of to your pace and what you guys like. Okay, you tracking with me here? We good? All right, so that's that. So tonight, when you guys are making your calls, my first goal when I'm making my calls is always to fill up my next day. So don't finish phone time tonight without what? Finishing your next day, right? That's the idea. If your goal tomorrow is 3, Ruben, then go until you get 3, right? So be that kind of guy. Be that kind of girl that does that. And then you can fill up your Saturday, Sunday. But obviously, if they can't film these ones, just start dropping people into Monday. And you might even have some people go further on, but you guys typically don't want to book more than 3 days in advance. Okay? You typically don't want to do that just because people can forget. Okay? So that's
you said don't book 3 days in advance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, just because people can forget about those types of things. And life comes up, you know? Yeah. So that can happen. All right, so let's go over a couple more things here. If you could...
29?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Make calls from the office whenever possible. It's a great environment for maximum efficiency.
Okay, so why would I tell you guys as much as possible to make calls here?
Because there's nothing else really. No distractions.
There's no distractions, so that's good. There's a million distractions at home. What else?
That's a reason you're here.
Just in case
One of the reasons you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Just in case you need help.
Right, great. Of course, right? Who else is here while you're making calls?
Manager.
Yeah. So we can help you get better. Like if you totally butcher a phone call at your house, you're gonna feel so low. Like, oh, it's so terrible. Yeah. But if I hear it, hey, Ruben, here, come here. Can I give you a tip? Boom, boom, do this quick fix. You create more appointments, so you make more what? Yeah, that's the idea. All right. Most people also just aren't motivated to work out, do the work at home. You know, especially if they're like their first job or they're just not. Some people just don't have the maturity level to do it yet. It took me a long time before I could make calls in my house. So the other thing to think about is that, like, think about my office or Jake's office in this case, like a gym. And you can come between wherever you're at. You just come make calls. You're part of my team just like Jake's, all right? But you can make calls here whenever you want to, but the idea is it's like showing up to the gym to get work done. Because every time you step foot in the gym, you're going to get what? Fitter, stronger, right? You don't ever show up at the gym and do zero working out, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that just take pictures.
Yeah, that's true. People take pictures
Yeah.
at the mirror and in the bathrooms now, right? But I would tell, I mean, if a person's doing that, the trainer should just say what? Go home. You're taking up space, right? Just like if you came to my office and you're doing nothing, like you're just like socializing and like just talking to people, what do you think I'm going to tell you to do? How about I leave? Why are you here? Because if you're talking to somebody else, you're stealing their what?
Time.
Money.
Space.
Same, right? I'm not saying you can't talk to each other and be friends, high five and stuff like that. I'm just saying like you don't want to be in here talking for 3 hours. It's like go to In-N-Out and talk if you want to. But this is a place where you can work and there's an environment that's like that. Also, just like the gym, there's trainers, right? So if you're squatting incorrectly, they can fix it. Because if you have bad form, you what? You die, right? You break your back or your hips or whatever. Just like here, if you're constantly doing the wrong form and the wrong habits and the wrong practices, it's not going to set up long-term success. We want to make sure you get those foundations correctly. So I'm a stickler for those types of things. That's why I quiz you guys a lot all the time when I do checks for you, because I want you to be successful at the job. Okay. So this is the best place to do it. The second one says stay organized. Always have your planner and demo times available, your approach and your contact list. So I did this, right? How long would this take you guys to do? To plan out like 4 or 5 days ahead, just to write them in your schedule, demo times, phone time. How long would that take you? Yeah, I mean, I think less than an hour for sure. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe 15. It's just, hey, this is what I want to do. This is my goals. Okay, great. You need to have that before you start. You can't just come in, sit down, and pick up the phone and start calling because you're not going to be prepared. Every time you guys come to my office, you have to be prepared. So you have to have your referral book with you, your manual with you, your contact list. I tell my reps it's a good idea to travel with like headphones, so you can make calls and be hands-free. Always have your charger with you, and sometimes if your phone dies, we got extra chargers in the office, but you just want to be prepared, right? You don't want to show up at the office and be like, oh, I don't have anything. Yeah. I left my phone at home, my manual, and all my leads. Well, what do you think I'm going to tell you? Why are you here, right? You need those things so you need your playbook, okay? The next one says always follow your approach, okay? So we've talked about that. Do the next one for me there, Eric. That's the fourth one down.
Smile.
Dial. Cheesy enough for you? Okay. Why do we say that?
Because when you have the right attitude, it transfers over to what you're saying.
You said it beautifully, right? It transfers to the next person. And the only way they know you is how you sound on the what? Yeah, how you sound on the phone, right? So you guys ever called one of your friends before and you immediately know exactly what mood they're in?
Yeah.
Just by the way they answer the phone. So, and think about that. Put yourself in your customer's shoes that when they're talking to you and you're upbeat and you're lively, like they want to book demos with you. If you call them and you're like, hi, yeah, this is Ruben and Jenny referred me to you and I'm a college student. I want to be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Yeah. Right. So they're thinking you're going to do that to me for an hour on a demo and no, thank you. Right. So learning that phone voice want to help you with that. And if you're smiling, you just sound more upbeat. The next one says, don't sell over the phone. The purpose is to schedule what? Yeah. So sometimes a lot of new reps try to sell. You'll call someone, they're like, Cutco? Are you serious? You're a Cutco. I've been looking for a Cutco rep forever. Do you guys have that like ultimate set thingy? Do you guys still have that thing? I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's just rack it up right now. It's $3,000. What would I say? Say, no problem. I'll show you everything when I come over. Let's just get a good time that we both can make. So I have a time at 3:15 or would 4:15 be better for you, right? Because I want the appointments because once my schedule is full, I can go worry about selling when I'm on the demo. Okay. The next one says create urgency. So this is one of the most valuable things I learned at this job at a young age was how to be urgent because it helped me create results more quickly. And I think a lot of people lack that. So Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I really need to complete blank more appointments by day to hit my goal. So what did I tell you here? Like at this stage, you want to complete at least 10 more. Like that should be a focus. It's like 2 basically per day, roughly. But I would recommend not saying that to a customer. What if you want to do 20 between now and Monday night? I wouldn't say, hey, I want to get 20 down by Monday, because if they say yes, it doesn't feel like they're helping you out nearly as much. So what I learned how to do is telling customers, hey, Mrs. Jones, I want to get a lot of appointments done by Monday, but I only need 2 more appointments tonight to hit my what? Hit my goal, right? Is there any way you could squeeze me in and totally what? Yeah, it would be totally help me out. Because now if it's say 2 or 1, how does the customer feel? Well, I'm like making an impact for this person, right? So especially like big push weeks when I was trying to do like 40 appointments in a week, I'd never say 40. I'm like, I only need 1 more to hit my goal. Okay. And I got Ruben right next to me. Him and I are competing. He's a little ahead of me. I need 1 more to get him. Can you help me out? So I would do that to help create urgency with my clients, right? Just like I wouldn't say, hey, I want to get 40 done by the week. It's like, I want to get 2 done by tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, is there any way you can squeeze me in?
So okay. Smaller number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, smaller number and shorter time. right? So when Ruben's making phone calls, the first thing he starts with is, Miss Jones, I want to get 3 by what? Tomorrow, right? Is there any way you can squeeze me? I know it's kind of short notice, but could you squeeze me in? Okay, because we create urgency that way. Always offer a choice of 2 times. Why do we do this?
Because if they're not available one time, they have
Potentially.
2 options.
You give them 2 options, right? So they can choose from those.
Basically, I'm like in a position they have to choose.
It's a ninja skill that we're teaching you here,
Yeah.
right? This actually is a great skill for life, okay? So always 2 options. You guys, we live in a society now that there's actually too many choices, right? You've been down a cereal aisle before?
Yeah.
There's like 285 cereals now, right? So it's hard to pick if you were just to go in there and pick another one. But if somebody said, do you want Cocoa Pebbles or do you want Trix? Okay, Cocoa Pebbles clearly would be the choice, all right? So it's easier to choose that option. A great way to look at that also is that I tell this for guys and girls, like Ruben, if you're trying to get a date with a girl, right? He should never say, hey, do you want to go on a date with me? That's a bad question because that's a yes or no question. Yeah. So what could she say? Yeah. You don't want to set yourself up that way. He should say, hey, you seem great. I'd love to take you out. Could I take you to a movie or would you rather go to dinner? And then what does she have to say? What does a smart woman say? Both, please, right? Smart women say both, okay? So, hey, can I take you out on Thursday night or would you rather Friday night, right? So I'm not really giving them an option to say what, okay? So it's assumptive, it's very assertive, it's not pushy, but also think about it this way. You guys all want to work and create your own schedule, right? So never say when's good for you because then you're fitting in whose schedule. Yeah, I don't want that. So if I give them these times, like Ruben, you want one at 7 tomorrow, let's say, and one at 8:30 and one 4:30. You give them those times because those are the times you want to be doing demos, not the other way around. Okay, so that's why we do that. The next one is be enthusiastic. It's not just what you say, but it's how you say it. It makes all the difference in the world, okay? And you want to make sure that you guys develop a phone voice. That's worth writing down. You want to develop your phone voice. So how should your phone voice be? Enthusiastic, upbeat, clear, not monotone, right? You want to speak clearly, articulately. That's why you want to practice and rehearse scripts because the more you rehearse, the smoother you what? Get it down. The smoother you get it down. You ever seen someone give a speech and you could tell they didn't rehearse it? How does that go? Are you ever embarrassed for them sitting in the chairs? Yeah. I cringe when I see people give bad messages from the podium. But if you ever seen someone like really rehearse it and they know every word and they just nail it up there, it's like the most impressive thing ever. Why'd they nail it? They rehearsed, right? So they rehearsed. So the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So be enthusiastic for sure and develop your phone voice. So stress the reference. Hey, Sally thought you'd be nice enough to what? Help me out, okay? So this is specifically when you start talking to recommendations. So if I talk to Sally, had referred me to her, then like I'm okay with Sally, right? So it's kind of that idea. If all 3 of us met at a party, right, and I'd never met Ruben before, I might have my guard up a little bit. Hey, I don't know this guy very much, right? But if Erica introduced me to Ruben, Evan, you got to meet Ruben. He's an awesome guy. She edifies you a little bit, and I go, oh, you must be really cool, right? You know Erica? Yeah, I'm friends with Erica too. It makes everything very nice and easy. So we always want to drop that third-party reference when we're talking about recommendations, okay? That's why when you guys are talking to people you know, it's nice to share, even if you only kind of know them, you know? Like if you call your mom's coworker and just say what? You work with my mom. No, you're immediately okay. Yeah. Oh, hey, sweetie, how you doing? They're more likely to book a demo because there's a connection. That's what we're looking for. So stress the reference, set up specific times. Tentative appointments usually fall through. You guys should understand when people are wishy-washy, right? So, hey, you could come over, but like call me before you come over. It's wishy-washy. You want to get a solid up appointments with a happy face and a what? And a penny. Okay, happy face and a penny. Very cheesy thing to do, but you can do it. Is have customers write it down where whenever you guys do it, you want to have customers write down, 3 p.m. Thursday, but you don't want to get forgotten about ever when you're doing your appointments. Okay. So if I'm having my customer, I want to do the smiley face. So the little line that you can have at the end when you're talking to someone you don't know super well, you can say, hey, go ahead. By the way, Ms. Jones, you get it down 3 p.m. Thursday. People have walls up. If someone has a product or whatever the case is, we're going to make that even easier and break those walls down. Okay. What's the penny for? I have the customer tape a penny to their fridge schedule. Put it by their coffee pot, something like that. Why do I want them to tape a penny to their schedule or their fridge? To keep thinking. It's not to cut it. We're going to cut it, but it's not to cut it, right? I just want her to look at that penny and be like, oh, yeah, Erica's coming over on Saturday at 3. I got to make sure I don't go run out for milk and take the kids for a walk, right? So they get forgotten about. So that's just a little pro tip that we teach. Try not to book appointments more than how many days? 3 days in advance, okay? There are some exceptions occasionally to that rule, but typically you don't want to. You don't want them to forget. And people with kids, I mean, their schedule changes rapidly, okay? So build rapport with the customer and ask about their schedule before you ask for a demo. Handle the I'm busy or that time doesn't work objection before it comes up. And what are you up to tomorrow or this weekend? Any special plans? So you're pretty open on this day, okay? So what do you need? Schedule something? Okay, cool. So this last part here is consistent phone effort, okay? Equals consistently bigger what? Okay, I have to show you something very quickly. And then we're going to go through a new approach.